They are all interested in learning a little bit more about Dartmouth College. Now, they
Great,
had some
I'm so
questions
excited.
questions for me about why Dartmouth is a college and not a university. So I think you could probably answer that because we've been talking to a lot of universities, and I think it has something to do with the amount of graduate programs you guys have.
Actually, it's not. We actually do have graduate programs, including a medical school, business school, engineering school, and several other programs that you can come post undergrad. But the reason we actually keep the name Dartmouth College is to show how dedicated we are to the undergraduate aspect of our education. But we could be a university. We just decided to keep the name college because undergrads really are the focus of Dartmouth.
Excellent. All right, so I'm going to have them introduce themselves. So why don't you just tell Mr. Romero your name? Madison, Faith, Mackay, Madison, and Morgan.
Great.
And they are all
nice
second
to meet
graders.
You guys. How are you?
Are interested in finding a little bit more about the Big Green. So you ready for some questions?
Of course.
Okay, go ahead. Start with number 2. Yep. School mascot and school colors.
So our mascot is actually the Big Green. We don't have an official mascot, and naturally our color is green, Dartmouth green. And the reason our mascot is the Big Green is you guys haven't been on campus, or maybe you have, but in the center of campus we have this big open space. It's grassy in the spring, and in the summer right now it's covered with snow, and there are paths all over it, but it's really a very popular spot on campus to convene on and either find someone on the green. It's a very central location. We don't have a mascot that is an animal or something similar, but we are very proud of the Dartmouth Green, the Big Green, because it really means a lot to us.
Now, you guys are also located in kind of a rural area up in New Hampshire. So my thought, too, with the Big Green is, when I think of New Hampshire, I think of a wooded, outdoorsy type. And having seen Dartmouth myself, the campus is a completely traditional New England-styled campus.
Yes.
And, when I think of Dartmouth Green, or the Big Green, so to speak, it's that true, heavily wooded, high-arched or high-peaked traditional New England-styled campus.
Absolutely. We're in rural New Hampshire, like Mr. Herbert said. So there's a lot to do around outdoors. We are really proud to have an outing club, which takes trips at all times throughout the year. So there's you can go skiing. There's all sorts of things in the snow you would ever think of. I don't even know all of them. I'm not a big snow person myself, but and over the summer we have the river, the Connecticut River, right next to us. There are many hiking trips. We actually have the first year outing club trips, which is before you come for your freshman year, you go on a trip with a random group of people that are also coming into Dartmouth. And it's a great way to make friends, and you sort of get to explore the surroundings of Dartmouth because really there's so much to take advantage of because of the environment and the outdoors aren't here. We're really proud to be in a rural setting where we can really take advantage of it.
Excellent. So you can jump to number 4. Mm-hmm. So how big is Dartmouth? How many students attend Dartmouth?
So we have about 4,000 students, undergraduate students, and then there are not that many graduate students at all. So undergrads really dominate campus. And the campus is actually not too big. Everything's about 10-minute walk from the farthest place on campus. We've actually expanded recently. We have a new biology building and a new arts building on opposite sides. So we're sort of building on the outskirts of our campus currently, but it's not too big at all. You can walk from one place to another. You can get to class within 10 minutes. And it's great. You get to see a lot of people on the way. Everyone walks around, rides their bikes. Not many people have cars. It's actually, terrible if you have a car. There's no parking because everyone really just walks around. It's small enough where you can walk around, not big at all. And numbers-wise, with number of students, it's big enough where you're meeting new people. There's never a class where I know everyone. but it's also nice to walk into the library and run into people all the time and sort of say hello. You sort of get familiar faces going. So it's not too small. It's smaller than a huge school, but you can meet new people anyhow.
You know, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, our school in our town that we're teaching in here, it's only a 1 square mile town. Our elementary school is,
Wow.
About 400 students in it. And,
Yeah.
I say to them all the time, I went to the College of New Jersey in Trenton, New Jersey, which is about 4,000 students as well. And I think you put it exactly how I would. It's big enough where you meet new people, but it's small enough where you still have those familiar faces that you see.
Yeah.
We spoke to the University of Connecticut this morning, and they're at 16,000 students and consider themselves a medium-sized school. And I had some students even gasp when you said 3,000, and I said, to me that's actually the ideal number for a higher education facility.
Yeah, for me it's great. I love it because it's small. It also means our class sizes aren't as big, so you really get to know your professors. But you really, it's not like I don't like to differentiate between the people you get to know, professors and students, because we really are one community here, and you run into professors, staff, students everywhere on campus, and it's great. You get to know them. You're on a first name basis with a lot of people.
Excellent. Well, that leads us right into question number 5. Go ahead, Faith.
How big are your class sizes?
So how big are your class sizes?
So our average class size, I think, is 29 students. But I've been in classes where there have been 13. Some have been. I've also been in classes where there have been 60 students. So it really fluctuates depending on what kind of class you're taking. Intro, bio, and chemistry classes tend to be a little bigger. But every student, either starting their first year, you're in your writing seminar, which is maximum 13 students for the first 2 terms of your Dartmouth career. And then you take a lot of classes as you move on up and you get more specialized in your major. The classes get smaller and smaller, and it really facilitates for you to get to know your professor and your professor to really pay attention to you. That's a big thing. I've never felt so involved with my academics. In high school, it wasn't like that at all. I went to a high school where the class sizes were, I think, almost 30. And I've never, rarely experienced small classroom sizes. So here's been really nice.
I feel like you hit it right on the head. It kind of allows you, as you specify as to what it is exactly you're kind of working towards, it allows you to be, get the mastery of your craft, so to speak, as the further along in your academic career as you go.
Absolutely, and I think we're really proud of that. And it has to do a lot with the professors too, willing to go out there and meet students and interact with them. We have a lot of students doing research their first year with their professors, and I think part of that is because they get to know their professors on a lot deeper of a level, and get to know them well enough that they feel comfortable doing research with them first year at Dartmouth. And we are #1 in undergraduate teaching, and I think professors are a main reason for that.
Excellent. Yeah.
How far is your school from Keensburg, New Jersey?
So we're about 5 hours, according to Google Maps, away from where you are in New Jersey. How do you say it?
Keensburg.
Keensburg, yes.
Yep.
We're about 5 hours from Keensburg, which isn't too bad. There are people here that come from all over the world, so 5 hours of drive isn't too bad. I'm from New York, so I'm about 4 hours away, and I like to drive. It's not too bad. But we have people who come here who have to fly out 2 days sometimes, depending on where they're coming from. So we're not too far away, and I think it's a nice distance where if you're coming from home, it's you can go home if you need to at any moment, but you're also far enough away where you get some space.
Excellent. I keep telling them that they may not want to leave home yet, but when they hit 17, 18 years old, they're going to be happy to go away for a little while.
Yeah. No. And my parents come up and visit me all the time. My mom came up for my birthday. She was up last weekend. My parents, my first year, would come up just to have dinner and drive back, which is sort of a stretch, but it's doable.
Nice. Go ahead.
What types of things are there to do on and around your school?
Now, you mentioned a lot with being outdoors, but what other types of things are there to do on and around campus there?
So, yeah, we really do take advantage of the outdoors year round. But around campus, we have a lot of student organizations you can get involved in, and they have social events. just events in general. If you are interested or devoted to a cause, there's probably something on campus for you. Um, I think a popular thing to do is we have so many things going on at the same time that you don't even know what to do sometimes. We have our arts center where you can go watch performances coming in, like from worldwide performers coming to Dartmouth just for us at reduced price tickets. You can go watch a movie. There are concerts. Every year we bring in a big I remember my freshman year we brought in Kesha. Last year Avicii came. I don't know if you guys know who they are. But the campus really devotes itself to making it well-rounded and fun for everybody. There's also things like Friday Night Rock at our student center where you can go and they bring in a band every Friday, which is pretty awesome. And it's a lot of it's like once you join groups and you get involved on campus, the groups sort of form their own activities. So if you join an a cappella group and you become involved in that, or I'm in like or Latino America group, so we discuss like Latino topics every Wednesday for dinner. You can also get involved with the D, which is our daily newspaper. So we come out with a newspaper every day, and there are students behind that, making sure there's the content and the money to print the paper. So that's pretty interesting. And a lot of it's just hanging out with friends. You go to a dining hall, you go to your rooms, you go to the library, you go out into town. We have many restaurants in town if you get tired of our dining hall food. And there's also the Nugget Theater, which is another movie theater. So there's a lot to do on campus. Rarely is there a time when I'm completely bored. You're either doing schoolwork or going to another activity, but there's really no dull time around here.
And I keep telling them too, when they get into college, even doing the schoolwork is going to wind up being fun because whether you're doing a group project or studying with your roommate, whatever it might be, you know, even that time when you're really kind of hunkering down to get stuff done can turn into one of your fondest memories at school because you're spending it with your peers.
Yeah. Like some of my favorite times have been just hanging out with friends, not doing anything specifically, but doing work at the library and then deciding to go out for like a late snack or. The library is a great place here at Dartmouth. It really is a place where you get to see a lot of people, and then you're getting your work done, but it's a way to get around and get to know people as well. So even when you're studying, like Mr. Herbert said, it's a great way to spend your time here at college, and it is fun. It actually is fun because you're doing things you like.
What do most students do on the weekend?
Now you said, again, it's about 4 hours or so from us. Now do most students stick around on the weekends or do a lot head home?
Oh no, most people stay here. We're largely residential, so it's like 98% of students live on campus. Okay. Do people really leave Dartmouth? Partly because we are a little isolated from cities. So it's really, unless you want to go to Boston, it's a 3-hour drive, or Montreal is 2 hours. So some people do weekend trips like that, or to go back home. They could go back to New Jersey if they were. But people usually stick around here. I think the weekend's also a good time to catch up on work you haven't gotten to over the week. But at the same time, it's a time to relax. Go do some of the extracurricular things you can do on campus. Go to the jewelry studio. Get your time in at the gym. Do something outdoors. You can even meet with profs on the weekend. I know I've done it. Since profs also live fairly close to campus, most of them are available and during hours you wouldn't think they would be.
Excellent. Makai, you're up.
What types of sports are offered at your school?
Now I know I saw you guys are the champions in rugby. Is that correct?
Yes.
And what other sports are offered at your school?
So we have all varsity sports, and we're Division I in the NCAA. But the big sports here are soccer and rugby. I think those two are two teams we're very proud of. I'm not a big sports follower myself, but the Dartmouth Athletics does a great job in making sure that all students are as devoted athletically as they are academically. And it's great. I'm always amazed about how much time they're able to put into. I have a friend on the softball team, and they travel nationally to go compete. They were just in D.C. last weekend, and the weekend before they were in Florida. So it's crazy how much these teams do. But it's great to see them on campus, and they really are an asset to our school. One of our big games is the hockey game against Princeton. They're our hockey rival. We don't have necessarily like a rival in general, but Princeton definitely is traditionally our hockey rival. So there's something we do. It actually happened last weekend. The Princeton hockey team came, and it was a game. And after Dartmouth scores the first goal, everyone in the stands throws a tennis ball into the hockey court. So that's pretty funny. So we do that, but there are basketball games. I've been to swim meets. Really, Dartmouth does a great job in making sure that the facilities are here for the athletic teams. And for football games, there are tailgates, there's food beforehand. There are organizations that set up tailgate events that you can go and get riled up right before the games. So there's a lot of athletic community here on campus, and there's definitely a lot of support for them.
Excellent. Now, besides, you said you have the Princeton rivalry with hockey, but do you have, I know you said you don't traditionally have very many rivals. I know you guys compete in the Ivy League.
Yes.
So would it be most of the Ivy schools?
Yeah, so a lot of the teams we do play are the Ivy League, but also we do play other schools around us. I know we play the University of New Hampshire. We also do things with Middlebury, but mainly, yeah, it's the Ivy League, and those are the the teams we are playing the most. But we do, like I said, the teams do travel. So some teams go as far as California, down to Florida, and they're competing teams that are also going there from different places. So while we are in the Ivy League, there are other teams that are Division I that we do participate athletics with.
Now, do you have an academic rival?
Academic rival.
As far as like debate or any other type of academic competitions that you might compete in?
I'm not sure about debate if there's one specific one. I know we do have a debate team, but academically, I'd say we're always competing with other IBs, obviously. But I also say we get along pretty well. There's no like we're better than you, or hey, we love it when other people come visit campus and get to know us. We hold Ivy League conferences every year. Well, not here, but we participate in them. So we have hosted them at Dartmouth. We hosted one 2 years ago. This year's going to be at Penn. I've been to one at Cornell. So we really are, I think we get pretty well along. There are certain rivalries sometimes with like sports teams. I know the Princeton is the hockey one. For softball, I think it's Harvard. But other than that, I think we're a pretty inclusive community. We share our entire library systems within the Ivy League, which is pretty impressive. Excellent. So whenever we don't have a book and let's say Harvard has it, we can just borrow and they mail it to us within 2 days. So we like to cooperate, I'd say.
Excellent.
Does your school have any
Traditions.
Oh, I think Dartmouth is all about traditions. From the first year trips that I was telling you guys about, where you get to spend outdoors to sort of meet your incoming class, that's a big tradition. And over 95% of students who are incoming do these trips, so it's obviously something very popular. And then we have our homecoming bonfire, where it's basically we're officially saying welcome to the first year students, and it's this huge bonfire. They spend a week building, putting the wood up for it, and then it's impressive to see how big this fire is. And then the first year students run around it. So let's say you're graduating in 2014, like I am. You're supposed to do 114 laps around it. So most people only do 14. And you have the entire Dartmouth community around you. You have alums that come back. You have the upperclassmen, community members that live in Hanover, New Hampshire, where we're located, all riling you on and sort of welcoming you to Dartmouth for the first time. We have our Winter Carnival, which is our big weekend over winter, and we're actually one of the first schools to start this, and we students get together and make an ice sculpture in the middle of the green, so in the middle of campus, this huge ice sculpture, depending on what the theme it is. This year is Red Riding Hood and a wolf. Last year it was a cupcake. The year before that it was a castle. It's been the Coliseum, so that's a pretty big event during our winter. And then for spring, our traditional weekend is Green Key Weekend, where we have a lot of alums come back. We have this block party where there's bands outside. People are just hanging out because the weather is so nice. I think the best part about that weekend is seeing all the alums and people who recently graduated or have been out of school for 5 years come back and be excited to meet current students. I think the alums really do play a big part in a lot of the traditions we do partake in.
Excellent.
What is your school best known
What is your school best known for?
Well, we are best known for our undergrad teaching. A lot of our peer institutions within the Ivy League themselves tend to focus a lot more on their graduate programs. But here at Dartmouth, we're hugely invested in our undergrad student population. I think one of the best things about Dartmouth, being able to interact with professors right away, do research on your first year, have access to so much funding. I got funding to go to Cleveland and do research at Case Western just by applying. I also spent an off term here at Dartmouth working at our hospital, all paid for by Dartmouth and not included during. It's not something like I was paying tuition. Dartmouth was paying me to stay here and do research. I think that's what we're best known for. I think also our traditions and our sense of community here on campus. I think you feel it as soon as you get here, how happy people are to be here, how happy they are to welcome people here. And even when we have our admitted students weekend and they come, all of campus, it's basically like a weekend-long celebration of trying to convince these people, like, you have to come here because we're so excited for you to get here. And I didn't get that feeling when I went to a lot of other schools, and I think it's something that makes Dartmouth really special.
Excellent. Maddie?
Why do people choose to attend your school?
Why do most people choose to attend Dartmouth?
I would say it's our it's our focus on undergrad that I think really attracts people. And the other thing, like I said before, we're best known for our community. I don't think I'm lying when I say you feel it when you get on campus and you walk around and you talk to students and you ask them any question. I think everyone's so excited just to tell you about how what the things they're doing here, what they're involved in. And there's a lot of diversity within the activities people doing, what they're involved in, and what they want to do post Dartmouth. That I am really impressed by everyone I meet every day. Whenever I meet someone new, I'm always just, what do you like? How do you do that? Because everyone really does something different here on campus, and that's what's great about it. But people, I think, come here for that feeling, and also for the opportunities you can get through Dartmouth. Because of our alumni network, which is very strong, the focus we have on making sure students here are excelling and beyond Dartmouth. We were number one. I think we're number two now on wages 10 years out of graduation, post-graduation. So our alums are doing great, and I think people see that if coming to Dartmouth, they're going to have access to that while they're here at Dartmouth, and Dartmouth really never leaves you. You're with Dartmouth your entire life. You'll always meet people from Dartmouth ready to help you, ready to encourage you, and Hanover is always a home for all of our students.
Excellent. Maddie, jump down to 16 because you talked about the size of the school already. What are your most popular majors at Dartmouth?
Most popular majors are economics, psychology, and biology. I think those are our big three.
Now, does the biology focus on pre-med?
Well, no. There are many biology students who aren't pre-med. Actually, a lot of them. There's a lot of people like to modify biology with environmental studies. Our foreign study program for bio isn't even medically related. It's actually in Costa Rica, and you're doing a lot of environmental research, hands-on approach. A lot of students who do biology are pre-med students looking to fulfill their requirements, but it's not necessary. You also can be pre-med and not be a bio major. Like, I'm pre-med, and I'm taking bio classes for my pre-med requirements, but you don't have to be a bio major at all. And econs, a lot of people who are looking, whether they're looking for finance jobs, post-graduation. There are also people who look at it in the STEMs who want to work in development in the U.S. or internationally, and then economics comes in useful for that. And then cycle, it's a very popular major on campus, and a lot of people, it's easy to double major. Actually, the majority of campus does either modify their major or do a major and a minor, or do two majors at once or a major and two minors. So it's definitely doable here at Dartmouth.
Excellent. Morgan? What's the cost of Dartmouth?
So right now, our cost is around $60,000 a year. But while this number may sound scary and it seems like it's out of reach for anyone, we have a great financial aid program, so we're need blind. So you only pay depending on how much your parents earn, and if your parents make less than $100,000, you are eligible for full tuition based on our financial aid policies. And beyond that, it just depends on how much your family's making, how much you have saved up for college. But we really want to make sure that finances aren't a reason people are choosing not to come to Dartmouth. It's really helpful for us to attract students who are ready to get involved in academics here, and we really don't want finances to get in the way of that.
Excellent. Jump to 19. Any famous alumni?
I would say our most famous alumni is Dr. Seuss. I don't know if you guys have heard of him.
Oh, whose birthday was it the other day? Yeah, we just celebrated Read Across America, which is always honored on Dr. Seuss's birthday. But that's we actually saw that on one of the little clips we watched about him. So I was excited for them to do the interview with you. I was hoping you could bring that up.
Yep, he actually was a student here at Dartmouth, and actually we recently just renamed our medical school after him. So now it's the Geisel School of Medicine, because Dr. Seuss's first name was Geisel. And I mean, his real last name was Geisel. His pseudonym for books was Dr. Seuss. But yeah, so technically our med school is Dr. Seuss Med School, if you want to call it that.
Excellent.
But we are very proud of having him. We've also had as an alum Robert Frost.
Yep.
And I don't know how much you guys know about the last Treasury of State, but it was Timothy Geithner. The past two Treasury of States for the United States have been Dartmouth alums, and they actually come back on campus frequently to talk and get to know students.
Excellent. All right, Morgan, last one. What do you like most about attending Dartmouth?
Wow, that's hard because there's so many things I love about it. I think my favorite thing, though, are like the diverse opportunities I've had access to because I've been here. I'm pre-med. I'm a geography major, which is pretty interesting. Not many schools have geography departments. And the variety of classes I've been able to take because of the liberal arts curriculum. So I've been introduced to anything from, obviously I'm taking chemistry and biology, but I'm taking geography classes that stem from physical geography to social geography, international development classes. I've taken an art distrib that was about the originality of ideas that I thought was pretty interesting. And within all these things that I've been able to do because of Dartmouth, I've met such great people that inspire me to look forward to the world of tomorrow. And I think we're going to be able to, people here at Dartmouth are going to do great things. I've also been able to travel abroad because of Dartmouth. I was in Madrid last term. I was studying Spanish literature, and I was able to travel with Dartmouth students for 6 weeks, for 7 weeks there, and with a Dartmouth professor. So I feel like other schools don't really offer that. It was great to be with people from Dartmouth in a completely different country, traveling around it. We went from Madrid to Barcelona to Segovia to Toledo to Granada, and all of this covered under Dartmouth expenses. It was like a regular term, and it all counted like I was here on campus, so it was great. So really, Dartmouth has given me so many opportunities to really excel academically and really look forward to what my future is looking like career-wise, but also just network-wise. The people I've met here have been great. I'm honestly impressed every day.
All right, well, Mr. Romero, I can't thank you enough for taking time. I can't imagine how busy your day is, but thank you very much for taking time out to talk to us. You guys want to hold up your signs and show them where you guys plan on going one day?
Yes.
So we got some future, hopefully some future Dartmouth alumni right in front of you right here. So what do we say, guys?
Yeah, I think great.
Mr. Romero, thank you
guys for
so
all the
much.
questions. Great questions.
Thank you. Good luck with the rest of your term.
Thank you very much.
All
Have a
right,
great
take
day,
care.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.